How y'all doing? Man, I hope all is going well with everybody. Getting ready for the hunt season to come up. I wanted to share a few things with you all. Took a few notes. The things I wanted to share with y'all today. I wanted to talk about like some things that I do to prep for the season. Just to make sure I'm getting the dogs ready, getting in tune, getting ready for the hunting season. This fella right here, Tyson, has been with me for the hunt season for the last, I think he's getting about 8 years old. Got a little scab on your ear, man. Yeah, but a few little things. So a few of the things that I look for as we prep for the hunt season, and I wrote down some notes just for y'all. So what are some things that I be checking for that I'm getting ready for the hunt season? First of all, these dogs, for the most part, they've been sitting in the kennel for a long time, especially the seasoned dog. I run puppies all summer, but my seasoned dogs, snakes are so bad in the South, rattlesnakes, and one rattlesnake can potentially kill your dog. So for a lot of us in the summertime, especially in the South, we don't run our seasoned dog. Now some people do, and I run mine a few times, but for the most part, these seasoned dogs that's running good, we don't run them in the summertime, but these puppies are ran. So a lot of these seasoned dogs like Tyson, man, they've been sitting in the pen six months, besides, you know, we letting them out for exercise. But other than that, they've been sitting in the pen for an extended period of time. So a couple of things you got to do as you're prepping for the season. Some things that I start looking at as I'm prepping for the season. One thing I look at, I want to look at their weight, because as you know, are you slobbing on me? As you know, weight is critical. If a dog is overweight, they will not perform at their maximum potential. If a dog is overweight, they will not be able to, for example, run all day, run for several hours, and you know, running through the swamps and running through the briar patches. Man, their weight needs to be ideal. So their weight, their diet, their condition, and their overall health. So I want to talk a few minutes about some things that you prepping for the summer. You got to watch their weight, their diet, conditioning, and their overall health. Now all of this tying together. First of all, their weight. So I take them and I look at them. Like Tyson, I don't know what size he is. I can guess to say he's 21 pounds. Probably a little bit heavier than that, maybe about 25 pounds. But I want him to probably to drop a few pounds from what he is now, especially since he's older. Man, I don't need all that excess weight on this old frame. And even my young dogs, you don't need a lot of excess weight on them. So therefore, you got to start assessing their weight. So how can you change their weight? One thing you got to realize, they've been sitting in the pen. So once you start getting back into running, you start conditioning, running them once a week, twice a week. The ideal thing would be to run them 3 to 4 days a week. Man, that'd get some dogs in some very good conditioning for the hunt season. But to drop their weight, conditioning plays a major part in it. Whether that be just getting them out on some dirt roads and back roads and just running them, or taking them in the woods and actually let them run the rabbits, however you all decide to do it. Do your conditioning. I have some methods that I use to condition my dogs, but conditioning is going to be one of the key factors in determining how to drop the weight or how much weight to drop. So what plays a factor in that, in conditioning? Their diet, how you're feeding them. That's a big part of it. It's just like physically working out. I work out physically probably, I used to be like 4 days a week, but now I'm probably like 2 or 3 days a week. And no matter how much you work out, your diet is so important. What you feed these dogs plays a major role in how they perform in the field. You gonna sit down, man, or you gonna stand up the whole time? Again, what you feed them plays a big role in how they perform in the field. I remember being a kid and Uncle James was always telling us, you gotta feed these dogs some high pro. You gotta feed these dogs some good dog food. He would tell stories about going hunting with guys, and by the end of the hunt, man, those dogs over in the woods, and sometimes you had to tow them back to the truck. But Uncle James' dogs could keep performing. And he said, just feed them good food. Man, you have to feed them very good food. I used to hear people say, hey, I don't feed my dog before they go hunting because I want to make sure that they're hungry. So therefore they can chase the game better because they're hungry. I don't prescribe to that. And now obviously I don't just give them a full meal the morning of the hunt, but I make sure they're fed good, very good the night before. But more specifically, okay, we want to get the weight down. We want to get them in tip-top shape. We want to get their conditioning up. So how do I do that? You look at your protein to fat content. So for example, summertime, a lot of times we drop our protein to fat content. They're not working as hard. They're not running as much. So therefore, I don't like to just feed them high protein, high fat food during the summertime, because they're not utilizing much. Now, some people feed the same thing the whole summer. That's fine. But I just said for me, like if I'm feeding 28% protein, 20% fat, again, 28-20, 20 or 28-18, 28% protein and 20% fat or 18% fat during the main hunting season. Summertime, I'm gonna drop down to 24-20, and every now and then I go under that, but most times I'm doing 24-20, and a lot of times 24-20 you can feed that year round, but for me, I feed a higher protein count during the running time. So okay, I need to get Tyson in shape. So first of all, I'm gonna look at how much protein have we been feeding him. We've been feeding him 24-20. I gotta determine whether I'm gonna increase the protein amount, because I know he's not gonna be sitting up. He's gonna be conditioning a lot more. And you got a scab right here. You know that, brother? You got a scab on your neck. The collar been too tight for you. So protein content. I want to increase most of the times when I'm getting ready for the hunt season, I'm gonna increase the protein content. I like to go 28-18, 28% protein, 18% fat, because I want to drop some fat, but I need that protein to get that energy. I need that protein to get that just overall health. Protein is a major factor in your dog's overall health. It helps their bones, it helps their muscles, but also it helps certain protein create enzymes to keep their stomach, their digestive system healthy, and you all know that plays a major role. So I increase my protein to 28. Sometimes I'll drop that fat down to 18, especially on an older dog like Tyson, whose metabolism is probably not as high. But those, young dog, 2 or 3 years old, man, that metabolism is high. So you can often, I guess that's what you call it, metabolism, just like humans. But you can keep that fat content up to 20. So again, I increase my protein content to 28. My fat content, I probably keep around 20-18. And then, man, I'm conditioning them 3 to 4 days a week. That's the ideal thing. Now, I know some of you are like me, where you may work out of town or can't run as much, and you just run on Saturday. Like today is Saturday. I ran this morning, and I'm gonna run again this evening. So instead of doing 2 days during the week or multiple days during the week, sometimes you may do 1 day during the week, and then you do 2 days on the weekend. Meaning you do Saturday morning, Saturday evening. Basically, I want to get that conditioning in. I want to get that conditioning in because I want to drop some of this fat. I want to tighten up these muscles. I want to get them in real good shape, get the lungs built back up. So I'm increasing that protein to give them that energy, give it so they can endure. I'm sweating because it's hot out here, y'all. I'm sorry. Give them that protein so I can increase their endurance. But then I'm running, I'm conditioning. And when you do that 3 or 4 weeks, you'll see that weight drop off. Ain't that right, man? Ain't that right, man? It's like that weight gonna drop off. They gonna build up some muscle in here, build up some muscle on their leg, and man, they're just gonna be overall more efficient. So dropping that weight, doing a lot of conditioning, watching their diet. Now with some dogs, you want to decrease their protein and their fat decrease the protein and fat, but as well still do your conditioning 3 to 4 days a week. And that way, it depends on the dog. Some dogs may have high energy at that. Now some people go up to 30% protein and 20% fat. You gotta watch it. Sometimes if you get up to that 30% for certain dogs, it has them too high strung. So when they're trying to run, they're trying to compete, they're trying to run that rabbit, they'll find themselves overstepping the track even more. Like they're just too high strung, too hyped up. So you got to be mindful. You got to look for all that. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm sweating like this, but you got to look for all that. Okay, is this putting this too more protein? Is this hyping them up too much? That's why I dropped back to that 28, 28, 18, 28, 20. Now, a dog like Tyson, he can handle that 30 because he's older. He's not going to have all of that. He's not going to be too overly hyped. But a young dog like Tremayne, man, you give him that 30, he's going to be amped up. And he'll settle down, but it may take him a while to settle down. But, so yeah. So just prepping for the summertime. Look at your dog's weight. How you going to manage that weight. You're going to do it with diet and you're going to do it with exercise, conditioning. Get them out there 3 to 4 days a week. Increase their food intake. Decrease their food intake for as like you can increase how much you give them, decrease how much you give them. Or sometimes you can maintain. Keep giving them the same amount of food. But one thing you do realize that conditioning is going to cause some of the weight. There's no one size fit all. I get a lot of questions about what dog food do you feed. Man, I fed just about all kinds, and I still switch it up. Like I like to give my dogs different kinds. I don't want to name any of the ones I give. I'm not endorsed by any of them or anything like that. But I don't, I just don't want to name any of them. But I fed Diamond. I fed Purina. Shoot, you name it. I fed Wild. I fed Old Roy. That's that Walmart dog food. That's why I start off with that Old Roy. And I'm telling you, that Old Roy used to do the trick. It probably still does it if I would try it, but I don't use it anymore. Man, they got all kinds of dog food out there, and there's no really one size is better than the other to me. But you gotta. It's gonna be based on the dog. Based on the dog, that's what dog food I get. I'm the person in there reading all the labels. You got to study the labels about that protein and that fat content. Also, what ingredients they put in there. All that makes a difference. Because right here with this hunt season, man, I want to feed some good dog food. I want to make sure most of the time the first ingredient is meat, if that's what I'm going for. Some of them meat byproducts and all that. So you got to do a lot of study. I may do a video on that. But I'll sit in the store an hour or 2 hours just reading labels or do my homework before I get there to see what dog food I want. But watch that weight, do that conditioning, watch that diet, and overall health. The overall health will be well. Make sure that you're getting them shots, you're prepping them worm medicine, running right this time of year, right before the season starts. It's a lot of ticks and everything. So I do my normal flea and tick medication, but I give them a little bit more, knowing that certain times of year you're gonna get a lot more ticks. We get a lot more this time of year. So, you got anything you want to say, man? Got anything you want to say, man? Not this time. Good deal. I hope y'all having a good time, man. Let's get these dogs ready. That season's around the corner. If you getting your dogs ready, man, shout it out in the comments. I want to know what kennel you are. If you don't have a kennel name, just put your name in the comments. Let me know you're getting those dogs ready. What dog food you feed? Let me know what dog food you feed. What protein and fat content do you feed? If you don't know, look at your bag on your dog food. See what protein it is. See what fat content it is, and put it in the comments. I want to know what y'all feeding. I want to know what you're doing. How often do you condition your dogs? Put that in the comments. Are you running 3-4 days a week? For the extreme people, running 5 to 7 days a week. You gotta have a lot of dogs most of the time to do that. But put it in the comments, man. I want to see I want to know what y'all doing. Maybe I can learn something from you, man. I can always learn something. Isn't that right, Tyson? Old man still doing it, man. He's gonna be running. He don't run the whole way this time. But whole hunt. But he does run. I get him out there for an hour or two. And this is a little side note. This is not in my notes to tell you, but like when you have older dogs like this, man, I give them some joint vitamins too, like some vitamin stuff for their joints. Try to boost their body up, man. Is that right, man? Yeah, that's it. Good deal. Benson Kennel. Y'all stay tuned. I hope this video help you prepping for the hunt season. Let's get these dogs ready. Ain't that right, man? See, yes, sir. You're looking good, man. Looking good. See, I'm smelling good. That bath last week made a difference, didn't it?